Hey everybody, hope you're having a great Friday. Well, we'll see if I get this uploaded today, so whatever day it is, I hope you're having a great day. Um, yeah, I just wanted to document another little bedding area cut here in the property that's primarily Aspen. I like doing this just because if I do end up back out here at some point in the years ahead, it's nice to see how it's transformed, a few years down the road. So that's why I keep doing these. Plus, now that it's the growing season is upon us, I wanted to take a moment too just to show what cutting the aspen does for as far as releasing other species, because now we can kind of see what other stuff has been suppressed by the shade of the aspen trees. So here is the edge of the cut. That's the only non-aspen tree I cut. That elm there, hinged it, made a beautiful hinge. That one should live for a while. But you can see here, it's that same transition. We got the aspen going into the willow, tag elder, low area, which actually I think has quite a few deer in it because it's relatively dry. So, but I wanted to keep the cut along the same line of movement, right in this transition area. Well, the couple times I've walked in here, you can see I've bumped deer right on the edge of this. You can see that they want a bed right on that transition between the aspen and the swamp. So yeah, so anyway, this was the cut I did today. So there's the area that's not cut, and we'll turn this way and look into what's cut. So there's a bit of a peninsula here that kind of went out just that way and kind of looped back around there, and I cut pretty much the whole thing. I left one big tree right there. I just wasn't sure which way that one was going to fall. It's a little windy and it's not hurting anything standing, so that one stayed up. But everything else basically here on over got cut unless it was dead. So here's my main travel corridor that just kind of works the edge. I made sure that you could keep cutting through the whole edge of this. My cut I have down that direction, kind of up over there, has the travel corridor going through the edge of it as well. And then there's the big cut that we did right on the point of this aspen stand that has the travel corridor going through that as well. So here, as you can see, I have all kinds of jump trails. I mean, I anticipate most of the bedding is going to be right in this grass transition area. Now we gave them lots of good side cover, so I anticipate that's where a lot of the bedding will be. I will head into the main cut here. Like I said, I don't advise hinging aspen. I had a few that actually, just kind of the way they were set up, I ended up hinging them, and they do stay alive for maybe a year or two. They'll die eventually. But the main goal with aspen is just to cut them down, and then you get that root system supercharged where you get tons of little aspen shoots. But as you can see, here is that peninsula, and it just looks really neat. It's really easy to move around in here. I mean, this now with the sunlight coming in, you can see, I mean, this was all canopy before. I punched a major hole right there. But this stuff is going to grow up, and there's going to be a lot of different species that are going to benefit from this open canopy. There's a lot of raspberry brambles. I noticed a lot of wild strawberry down in there, which is highly preferred deer browse. They'll browse on raspberry brambles as well. A lot of poison ivy, and not a lot of people know this, but poison ivy actually is a highly preferred deer browse as well. They don't react to the oil on the leaves like we do, obviously, otherwise they wouldn't eat it. So, but yeah, here's kind of the point out here. I'll just kind of poke my head out. You can see there's a nice little escape route. I'll show you. I cut a few of these trees, I don't know, probably a month ago, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Like this one right here, I mean, practically snapped off, but you can see it completely leafed out, and it was dormant when I cut it. So, I mean, you will get some growth for a year or two out of them, but they're just too brittle a wood. They end up dying eventually, and they're kind of dangerous to hinge, so I wouldn't advise it. I got a few here that I did. It worked out well, but the outer edge. This is just kind of a grassy point. I mean, there's definitely going to be some deer bedding in here. I found a few deer beds just with the few trees I dropped the other day. This should just help them encourage bedding a lot more. Here's a nice escape, so we cut back in this direction. Let's see, I got a path cutting up through there. I have one cutting out that direction. Hopefully the wind isn't messing with my sound here. You can see lots of raspberry brambles that are probably going to come back pretty thick, as well as the aspen. I did notice some ash trees that should get a chance here to grow. Notice some young elm. There's a young elm over there. I like this area right here. You can see I got pretty thick cover all the way around, and it's kind of it's a dry spot. I anticipate once these grasses come back and some of the young woody vegetation, there definitely should be some bedding in this area. So kind of a neat little canopy area right there. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of work. I think this is about the most labor intensive type of forest you can have if you're wanting to cut trees, because you can see just how dense aspen are. They grow so tight together, you get a lot of hang-ups, and you really have to have a good plan going in on how you want to start dropping your trees, because it can get frustrating quick. And then once you're done with a hinge cut, you know, you're normally hinging those medium to smaller size trees. You can kind of guide and direct where you want to drop them, so you can lay it out in a well-planned manner. Well, with aspen, I just had to kind of cut the way they were going to go, because there's a lot of bigger trees. So you have a lot of chainsaw work to do once you're done cutting trees down. And that was kind of what I always plan to do, is spend half my time knocking trees down and the other half my time cleaning up the mess. So here's another cool little bedding hub. Got escapes going out that way, escape going out that way. Here's the main travel corridor. It's going to go connect to the other bedding area, which is over there. I can see it, but you probably can't quite see it on the video. Yeah, it's kind of tough to see. But yeah, it should create just a real nice overall line of movement. There's looks like a young ash tree coming right there. Yeah, I mean, the goal is when you open up that canopy, you hope for some good diversity. There's some goldenrod, a little bit of thistle. We'll see if it's native or not. Yep, that's a native thistle. So a good way, easy way to tell if it's native is you flip it over, and if it's white, which it looks like it, oh, maybe it's a little more green. Oh, it looks pretty white. If it's white, that means it's native thistle. So, little thing I learned from Dr. Grant Woods. But there's another little escape going out that direction. And then here's going back the direction where I started. So, another good day to be out cutting trees. It was a little cooler today, so good day to get trees down. But yeah, I was able to get some habitat on the ground, open up some canopy, and hopefully it results in a fun fall for the guys that are hunting this property. All right, you all have a good rest of the day. Take care. God bless.